Welcome, gents. Pain is a strange thing. For most people, it's something to be avoided, feared, or endured. But for Sigma males, pain is something else entirely. It's a blueprint, a challenge, a raw material used to construct something greater. While others may let hardship define them, Sigma males take pain apart, analyze it, and use it to rebuild themselves stronger, sharper, and more independent than before. You didn't become who you are by accident. Life didn't hand you an easy path, and yet here you are, standing tall, thinking differently, refusing to conform. Why? Because every painful experience, every setback, every betrayal, and every moment of loneliness wasn't an ending. It was fuel. It was data. It was an opportunity to evolve. Unlike the masses who break under pressure or seek constant validation, Sigma males internalize their struggles and transform them into power. Think about it. If life had been easy, would you have developed your independence, your ability to read people, your resilience? Probably not. Pain was never your enemy. It was your engineer, shaping you into something rare. This is your reminder. You are not broken. You are built differently. And if you've ever doubted that, if you've ever wondered why you feel detached from the herd, this video will explain everything. Watch it now and see why pain didn't destroy you. It designed you. Sigma males are wired differently. They don't follow society's rules just because they're expected to. They think for themselves, make their own paths, and refuse to be trapped by obligations that don't serve them. If their family respects them, they will stay. But if they are constantly criticized, manipulated, or used, they have no problem leaving. Let's get started, gents. Number 1. Systematic self-diagnosis. How Sigma males use pain to rebuild themselves. Most people experience pain and immediately look for an escape, distractions, validation, or even self-pity. But Sigma males operate differently. They don't run from pain. They sit with it, break it down, and study it like a scientist examining a complex problem. For a Sigma male, pain is not just an unfortunate experience. It's a form of data. It reveals weaknesses, exposes outdated ways of thinking, and highlights blind spots. Instead of letting pain consume them, they turn inward and ask hard-hitting questions. This process isn't comfortable, but it's necessary. While most people react emotionally and impulsively, Sigma males detach and analyze. If a relationship betrayal stings, they don't drown in self-pity. They assess their ability to read people better next time. If a business failure happens, they don't spiral into despair. They study where their strategy was flawed and adjust accordingly. Every painful event becomes an opportunity to refine themselves. The power of systematic self-diagnosis is that it removes the victim mentality. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" a Sigma male thinks, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective turns pain into a tool for self-engineering. They don't rely on society's comfort, external validation, or cheap distractions. They rely on their ability to adapt and grow. This is why Sigma males keep evolving. They don't repeat mistakes because they extract every lesson from their struggles. They don't fear hardship because they know it's a training ground for their next breakthrough. So the next time you face adversity, don't run. Diagnose, observe, adjust. Because pain isn't here to break you. It's here to sharpen you into the best version of yourself. Number 2, blueprints from scars. How Sigma males use pain as a map for growth. For most people, scars, whether emotional or physical, are reminders of failure, mistakes, or painful memories. But Sigma males don't see it that way. To them, every scar is a blueprint, a set of instructions left behind by hardship, pointing out exactly where and how they need to improve. Pain doesn't just happen for no reason. It exposes weaknesses, blind spots, and outdated ways of thinking. Instead of ignoring or suppressing it, Sigmas analyze it like an architect reviewing blueprints for a stronger, more resilient structure. They ask themselves, a heartbreak doesn't just sting. It teaches them about emotional control and discernment in relationships. A financial loss isn't just frustrating, it highlights gaps in their knowledge or decision-making. A betrayal isn't just a reason to be bitter, it's a lesson in human nature and the importance of choosing allies wisely. Every painful experience leaves behind a schematic, a record of what went wrong and what needs to be improved. And Sigma males are not the type to leave those lessons unexamined. They study their scars, take notes, and redesign themselves to be sharper, smarter, and more resilient than before. This is why they rarely make the same mistake twice. They treat their past as a blueprint, extracting every bit of wisdom from their struggles. Over time, they become fortified, not in a way that makes them cold or emotionless, but in a way that makes them precise and unshakable. So the next time life wounds you, don't just see the pain, see the blueprint. Study it, learn from it. Use it to rebuild yourself into something stronger, something unbreakable. Because every scar you carry isn't proof of defeat, it's evidence of your evolution. Thank you for being part of Gents Grove community. You are valued. At number 3, empirical self-experimentation, how Sigma males treat life as a lab for growth. Most people cling to a fixed identity. They tell themselves, this is who I am, and resist anything that challenges that belief, even when it holds them back. But Sigma males take a radically different approach. They don't see themselves as a finished product. Instead, they treat their life like an ongoing experiment, constantly testing, analyzing, and refining who they are. Every setback, every failure, every difficult moment is not just something to endure, it's data. It's a real-time report on what works, what doesn't, and what needs improvement. Sigma males don't blindly accept failure as a personal flaw. They step back and study it like a scientist running an experiment. Nothing is taken personally. Everything is taken as feedback. This allows Sigmas to adjust their strategies with precision. If one way of thinking fails them, they discard it. If a certain behavior leads to setbacks, they tweak it. They are not emotionally attached to outdated versions of themselves. They are willing to change, constantly, intelligently, and with purpose. This is why Sigma males evolve so quickly. They don't repeat mistakes because they extract every lesson from them. They don't hold on to limiting beliefs because they challenge them regularly. They don't let their past define them because they are always running new experiments to refine their future. The average person fears change, but a Sigma male embraces it, because to him, the only failure is refusing to adapt. So if something in your life isn't working, don't just complain, analyze, adjust, experiment, keep evolving. Because the strongest version of yourself is not found, it is built, tested, and refined over time. Number 4, radical ownership. How Sigma males turn suffering into strength. Most people, when faced with suffering, instinctively look for someone or something to blame. They point fingers at society, their upbringing, their exes, or even fate itself. But Sigma males refuse to play that game. They don't waste time complaining about what's unfair or dwelling on who wronged them. Instead, they take radical ownership, embracing every ounce of pain as their own responsibility, using it as raw material for self-improvement rather than an excuse for self-pity. This doesn't mean they blame themselves for everything that happens. It means they recognize that their response to suffering is 100% within their control. If someone betrays them, they don't cry about how the world is cruel. They study where they missed the red flags. If they fail in business, they don't curse the economy. They analyze what decisions could have been better. Every hardship becomes a lesson, not a life sentence. Sigma males understand one simple truth. No one is coming to save them. The world doesn't owe them fairness, kindness, or a second chance. They own that reality and operate accordingly. While others wait for external solutions, Sigma males become the solution. This mindset gives them power. When you take radical ownership of your struggles, you no longer feel helpless. You don't sit around hoping things will get better. You make them better. You dissect your pain, extract the lessons, and upgrade yourself accordingly. Every difficulty becomes a stepping stone, every setback a blueprint for improvement. This is why Sigma males grow where others stagnate. While most people complain, they adapt. While others wait for justice, they create their own version of it, by becoming stronger, smarter, and more unshakable with every challenge. So if life has dealt you hardship, ask yourself, am I using this to evolve, or am I just making excuses? Because the truth is, your pain isn't here to break you, it's here to build you, but only if you own it. Number 5, analytical resilience. How Sigma males dissect hardship and adapt. Most people react to hardship emotionally. They get overwhelmed, lash out, break down, or hope that things will magically improve. But Sigma males don't rely on hope. They rely on analysis. To them, every challenge is data, every setback a test, every failure an equation to solve. Instead of drowning in emotions, they step back, observe, measure, and adjust. This is what makes them analytically resilient. They don't let pain cloud their judgment. When life hits them hard, they don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, they ask, "What can I learn from this? And how do I move forward strategically?" Their process is simple but ruthless. This is why Sigma males don't crumble under pressure. They don't waste time on wishful thinking. They don't spiral into self-pity. They study their pain, extract its lessons, and upgrade themselves accordingly. And here's the real difference. While most people hope things will get better, Sigma males ensure they get better, because hope is passive, analysis is power. So the next time hardship strikes, don't just react, analyze, adapt, adjust. Because resilience isn't just about enduring pain, it's about using it to become untouchable. Number 6. Disruption as design. How Sigma males use pain to rebuild themselves with purpose. Most people fear disruption. They see pain as something that throws their life off course, something that ruins their plans and steals their stability. But Sigma males don't resist disruption. They use it. Instead of letting pain be a force of destruction, they make it a tool for design. They let hardship break down what's weak, outdated, or holding them back, then rebuild themselves with more precision and purpose than before. Pain isn't random. It's a signal. It shows you exactly where you need to change, where you need to grow, and what parts of you are no longer serving your mission. Sigma males recognize this, so when life shakes them up, they don't panic. They step back and ask. They don't cling to broken pieces of their past. They don't resist change just because it's uncomfortable. Instead, they dismantle themselves on purpose, removing everything that weakens them, self-doubt, emotional baggage, outdated mindsets, so they can reconstruct a version of themselves that's more efficient, more strategic, and more resilient. This is why Sigma males don't fear loss, failure, or drastic change. They understand that destruction is sometimes necessary for better construction. When something in their life collapses, they don't waste energy trying to hold it together. They let it fall, examine the wreckage, and build something superior from the ruins. So if pain has disrupted your life, don't just survive it, use it. Let it tear down what no longer serves you, then rebuild yourself with precision and purpose. Because true strength isn't about resisting change, it's about mastering it. Number 7. Data-driven empathy. How Sigma males use pain to master human nature. Most people go through pain and either let it break them or bury it deep, pretending it never happened. Sigma males do neither. They don't suppress pain or get consumed by it. They study it. Every hardship, every betrayal, every moment of loneliness becomes part of a growing database of human experience. They collect lessons from their own struggles, analyze patterns in people's behavior, and use that information to navigate life with precision. Unlike emotional people who react impulsively, Sigma males process pain logically. If someone betrays them, they don't just feel hurt, they ask. Through this process, they develop something rare, data-driven empathy. They don't just sympathize with people's struggles, they understand why people act the way they do. They see patterns others miss. They recognize manipulation before it happens. They read people's motives beneath their words. This is why Sigma males are difficult to deceive. They've been there before. They've experienced loss, disloyalty, fake friendships, and hidden agendas. And instead of letting those experiences turn them bitter, they've turned them into knowledge. They don't operate on blind trust. They operate on patterns and probabilities. But here's what makes them different from the cold, detached types. They still care. Their empathy isn't naive, but it's not absent either. They understand people's pain because they've experienced it themselves. The difference is they don't let emotions cloud their judgment. They can be kind, but never foolish. Understanding, but never gullible. So if you've been burned, use it. Don't just heal, analyze. Every painful experience is a lesson. Every betrayal is a case study. Every struggle is data that can make you sharper, wiser, and impossible to manipulate. Sigma males don't just survive pain, they translate it into wisdom, and that wisdom makes them untouchable. Number 8. Selective vulnerability. How Sigma males turn weaknesses into strategic strengths. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, a thing to hide, cover up, or avoid at all costs. Most people think they need to shield every wound, every flaw, and every soft spot to protect themselves from being hurt. But Sigma males don't treat vulnerability like a secret they must keep locked away. Instead, they take a much smarter approach. They don't blindly expose their vulnerabilities. They selectively choose which ones to show and when. Sigma males understand that not all weaknesses are created equal. Some vulnerabilities are liabilities, things that hold them back, leave them exposed, or make them too easily manipulated. But others? Others can be turned into assets. They analyze their weaknesses, dissect them, and decide if they can be transformed into strengths. For example, a Sigma male might recognize that his need for independence is often seen as a weakness by others. Some might label him as aloof or emotionally distant. But instead of denying it or pretending to be something he's not, he reframes this so-called flaw into a strength. He uses his independence to make clear decisions, maintain his focus, and avoid distractions. That vulnerability, it's a competitive advantage. Selective vulnerability isn't about being emotionless or pretending you're invincible. It's about choosing the right moments to reveal parts of yourself that can either connect with others or strengthen your position. Sigma males understand that true power doesn't come from being untouchable. It comes from being in control of how, when, and to whom you show your true self. They don't expose their deepest wounds to just anyone. Instead, they evaluate the situation and decide if sharing their vulnerability will put them at a strategic advantage. This level of awareness and control allows them to create connections on their terms, ones that serve their personal growth, their mission, and their goals. So, if you're going to be vulnerable, don't give it all away. Use your vulnerability as a strategic tool, not an emotional surrender. Be deliberate with what you reveal and watch how it works in your favor. Number 9. Precision adaptation. How Sigma males adjust to overcome adversity with surgical precision. When most people face adversity, they either react impulsively or freeze, unsure of what to do next. But Sigma males? They operate like finely tuned instruments, each adjustment carefully calibrated to keep them moving forward, no matter the challenge. They don't let stress, obstacles, or setbacks derail them. Instead, they adapt with surgical precision, tweaking their approach until it aligns perfectly with their goals. Think of a high-performance engine. When things aren't running right, it doesn't just break down. It adjusts. The gears shift, the power output recalibrates, and the engine fine-tunes itself until it's running smoothly again. Sigma males do the same when faced with adversity. They don't panic, they don't rush. They assess, measure, and make adjustments in real time. Every shift is intentional. They don't make random changes or adapt out of fear. They adapt because they understand that precision is the key to overcoming challenges. Whether it's adjusting the way they communicate, rethinking their goals, or recalibrating their mindset, Sigma males know that adaptability isn't about bending or breaking. It's about shifting with accuracy until they're back on track. This adaptability is what makes them resilient in the face of adversity. They don't bend under pressure. Instead, they fine-tune their responses and optimize their energy to align with the end result they want. It's not about brute force, it's about precision. So when life throws a challenge your way, don't just react. Be like a Sigma male, adjust with precision. Measure, adapt, and fine-tune until you're perfectly aligned with your goals. Because true strength isn't in being rigid, it's in knowing how to adjust with purpose and still reach your destination. Number 10. Mastery through adversity. How Sigma males forge strength from pain. For most people, hardship feels like a hammer crashing down, smashing them into pieces. But Sigma males don't view adversity that way. They see pain as a building block, a vital material in the construction of their greatest asset, themselves. Rather than letting suffering break them, they use it to create a superior version of themselves, brick by brick, experience by experience. Think of a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble. The process isn't gentle or comfortable. It's messy, it's hard, and it takes precision. But the sculptor knows that every strike, no matter how painful, brings them closer to the masterpiece they're creating. Sigma males treat hardship the same way. Every setback, every challenge is part of a deliberate process. It's not about surviving pain, it's about mastering it. They don't retreat into bitterness or self-pity when life throws punches. Instead, they assess what's happening, extract the lessons, and use that knowledge to refine their skills, improve their mindset, and strengthen their willpower. Each painful experience is a piece of the blueprint for their self-mastery. Whether it's a personal failure, a betrayal, or a loss, Sigma males take those moments and study them carefully. They ask themselves, this is why Sigma males seem unshakable. They're not just enduring life's hardships, they're using them as stepping stones to a higher version of themselves. They transform adversity into power, and each challenge makes them more capable, more intelligent, and more resilient. So when life gets tough, don't see it as a force that will break you. See it as the perfect material for your personal architecture. Let adversity build you into the strongest, most refined version of yourself. Because true mastery is not about avoiding pain. It's about leveraging it to reach new heights. Conclusion. Pain has a way of exposing weaknesses. But for Sigma males, it doesn't break them, it builds them. Every hardship, every struggle, and every setback becomes a tool they use to sharpen themselves. While others might get caught in despair or self-pity, Sigma males see pain for what it really is, raw material for their evolution. They don't shy away from discomfort or fear failure. They embrace it as a chance to test their limits, learn, and recalibrate. The difference isn't that Sigma males avoid suffering, but that they transform it into strength. They operate with a kind of wisdom that says, what doesn't kill me refines me. The truth is, Sigma males are not immune to pain. They simply have a different relationship with it. They understand that adversity is a stepping stone, not an obstacle. They don't wait for things to get better, they make them better. Through analysis, adaptation, and precise action, they mold their suffering into the tools of self-mastery. If you find yourself struggling, take a step back. Look at your pain not as a threat, but as an opportunity to rebuild and refine. Just like a Sigma male, turn your challenges into data, your failures into lessons, and your hardships into the foundation for something greater. Your ability to rise, adapt, and grow through adversity is what sets you apart. Pain won't break you. It will engineer you into something unstoppable. You are capable of becoming stronger than you ever imagined, and every test you face is just a new phase of your transformation. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.